Hello, welcome to Indie Games Social Club, the book club with no books. I am Brian, your today's stream master and creative golf ball. With me today, I have a bunch of goofballs. We'll go around the horn. Let's start with the person we haven't seen in a while. Johan, tell us who you are, what you've been playing.
So my name is Johan. I work as a UX designer. I've been away for quite some time now, like a couple of months, I think. So I can't really remember, like, what is it that I'm playing nowadays? Like, I actually just started Monster Hunter Rise. Installed it yesterday. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's like getting, it's like getting hit in the face with a really thick manual. I haven't played one of those games for a while, but there's
you were all
the tutorial is just like endless. There's just like so many different things to keep track of.
Don't say that. I haven't started the game yet, and I'm procrastinating.
But and with that said, though, they say that this is the least complex Monster Hunter game, which is wild.
I think like past games you used to need like at least a bachelor's degree or like a PhD. I think now you can probably make do with like a two-year vocational education.
Yes,
diploma degree.
Perfect.
Yeah. Were you all in on Monster Hunter World?
Yeah, I played it quite a bit, like when it first came out. I haven't tried the expansion and stuff like that, but I really like the gameplay loop, like the gameplay loop and the whole looting thing, and especially together with friends. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was super fun.
I want to remember that we played it. Yeah, I think I want to remember we played that like once. We had one session when everyone managed to connect to each other.
Nice.
That one time.
I played.
I'm sad that I didn't endure to the expansion because the expansion looked great.
They changed a lot too, right? Like they added winter or something like that, right?
So yeah.
It's like some everybody, like every weapon got a new move as well that was supposed to be good, and
Nice. For me, I spent 2 hours creating my character to look as close to me as possible, even though I failed. And then I played the game for like 1 hour. I didn't get enough time.
Now it's like once you've created your character, then you have to create like the dog that you can ride on. And once you've created that, you gotta create your little cat companion. Like you're never gonna get out of there.
Yeah, and you can't make them look dumb too. You gotta give them some love.
Right. I mean, like the thing that took me most time is picking outfit for the pig.
The pig? There's a pig?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
of course.
Oh man.
Of course.
Fantastic.
If you pet it, actually, if you stop petting it in the exact right time, like you gotta time it, you get a. Is it like a magic find bonus or is it like a health bonus? I forget. It's a bonus.
Oh, yeah.
This probably makes absolutely zero sense to anyone who hasn't played Monster Hunter World.
For sure.
But
yeah. What else are you playing? I know you stepped into the world of VR for a hot minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been trying out some games. Like most of the stuff there is kind of, I guess, like still a bit gimmicky. Like there's not a lot of like really, I guess like really great games. Most of the great games like tend to gravitate towards being either like rhythm games or kind of like shooter games. So there's plenty of like good stuff when it comes to that, like Beat Saber, and I think my personal favorite is a game called Pistol Whip, which is, I think I sent like a quick clip about it. It's sort of like cool. This Virtua Cop 80s throwback with this like roaring synthwave soundtrack, and it's just
it looked cool.
Amazing.
It looked like it was mixed with a rhythm game too, or something like that somehow. Yeah. Really neat. And then, did you get to play Half-Life Alyx? That's like the only game that I want to play.
I know I have that. My computer is too old to manage it, so I'm gonna have to bring my headset over to someone with like a little bit more horsepower, and then we're gonna have a look at it. But it looks fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely. They say that's like probably the top 3 VR games to play right now. But yeah, great. How about Ilker, the lovely, beautiful Ilker? What are you playing?
Hello. Well, you guys know me. I'm always here. I'm always around. Unlike others.
24-hour streams.
Yes.
For those new to the channel, my name is Ilker. I work in marketing, and on my free time, I play video games and paint Warhammer miniatures. Actually finished a project today that I've been working on for a few months.
Let's see it. Hold it up to the camera.
Actually, as soon as I finish a project, I put it away.
Nice excuse. Put it away in my, I'll buy that.
Yeah, little box.
No, my cousin has it right now. You can't see it.
Yeah. I'll post you a picture. I'm I'm going to see my family next week. So my brother plays Warhammer, so I just packed everything just to have everything ready for.
I think Easter, like Sweden's not very religious, but Easter's a big thing out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we love holidays.
Yeah, just in general.
I mean, we do the whole like we have the candy, we have the like you decorate, but there's like no other thing. I think
like a lot of unclear Easter bunny traditions as well, like eggs.
Yeah, it's not very
opening eggs with candy in them, stuff like that.
Witches, a bunch of witches.
Exactly. That for some reason, it is, like Easter is also connected with witches, and
I didn't know that. I thought that was a joke.
No.
Actually,
you have like a big bonfire. I assume that's to burn the witches, but
no,
like,
that's not. But that's not during Easter. That's later. That's,
is it?
Yeah, that's Valborg.
Isn't that connected to witches also? I forget. There's a bunch of witches and trolls and stuff in our history thing.
I can't tell.
Like younger kids, so especially like in the country where I came from, they used to like they dress up as sort of like witches and stuff like that, and
for Easter
go around and they get candy.
Yeah. It's called like an Easter old lady, and so like everybody like gets dressed up in like the scarves around their heads and like the dresses, and then you walk like you go. It's basically like Halloween, but it's like not at night, and it's not. I don't know. And you like you knock on doors.
We try not to burn them.
I can't tell if you guys are trolling me or not, but that sounds really fun.
No. Google it.
Nice. Very cool. Simon, tell us who you are, what you're playing these days. Wait. Ilker, did you tell us what you're playing? What are you playing?
Oh, no.
I told you that on Thursday, but I'm playing Hyrule Warriors and Yakuza 7, I think it's like a dragon. And Aster Breed, I played as well.
That one looks really neat. Yeah. It is Bullet
for
Hell.
anyone curious.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Aster Breed?
Aster Breed. For anyone curious, you can check out our I think it's the last episode of our podcast, Small Talk. And I'm also excited to start playing Monster Hunter.
Nice.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah. Aster Breed, I think Ilker sold me on it because it is the game that the people that made Sakuna made before that, and it's a very different game. It's like you can tell these guys are just nerds that love those types of games and want to make the best version. So when I looked it up, Aster Breed is like a bullet hell shooter, but it has a lot of variety. So it'll be your traditional bullet hell, but it also has melee, and it changes perspective, and it's really neat looking.
It's also way easier than your typical bullet hell shooter. So the barrier of entry is pretty low.
Seems creative. Yeah,
cool.
But
Simon.
Yes, my name's Simon. I work as a designer and keep track of the things that you can see with your eyes in games when we review. And I've been playing a lot of Valheim.
Have you? Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it's super soothing and nice. And me and two friends actually started a server. So that everybody can visit the world without having to be connected at the same time.
Nice.
I guess that's the way to go. My brother plays that as well, and they also rented a server or something like that, and just.
It's super fun. It's nice to be able to like focus on different things. Like somebody's like doing the hunting, somebody's like gathering wood. You can. I mean, the world is ridiculously big. Like it's kind of insane.
What do you think of the graphic style? Because they chose to do like PlayStation 1 style, low poly, low texture kind of thing.
I think it's great.
Right?
It's five people from Sweden. I'm not sure where from Sweden, but doing that is like it's low poly, which is like doesn't take that much like power, like graphics power, makes it available for a lot of people. Less hard to like actually make and build. Thank you. And like low quality textures, which means that you basically can't fuck up. Like if you you do like a random tree texture, and it's like 5 times like 10 polygon or the pixels. Like it's gonna be brown with a little bit
with some bumps in it. Yeah,
right. So it's great. It's perfect. It's like they wanted to make a game and they found out a way to make a game. which is like, and
But
it,
is it,
it works.
It's not like the Minecraft recipe, basically, like
Yeah,
Roblox.
It seems like it. Yeah. Like, well,
minimizing production effort to be able to like do all the other stuff around it.
yeah.
And then also
totally.
like when you look at PlayStation 5 games, or you look at like games that have an ambition to be as realistic as possible, then people complain about the the aesthetics and the like the graphics, because you are trying to like people. I think like you see what they are trying to achieve, and if you fall short of that, you get criticized. But
Right.
if you have like no like visual goal, for example.
Set the bar low, right? Yeah.
Right. Right.
If you will, or manage expectations, as they say.
I mean, like I guess it's just if you say like like this is the style, this is the game style, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like nobody can complain about that. But if you're trying to be like, okay, like our style is like realistic style, then you're aiming towards something that people can relate to.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why all my online dating photos are of me crying, so they know what to expect. You know?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Strong strategy.
They're not surprised, right?
That's why you're dating 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
It works. I'm also looking forward to play Monster Hunter Rise. It's gonna be it's gonna be time sink, and I have a lot of work. But as soon as I can, I'll jump on it. I actually bought a pro controller just to be able to play.
Damn, nice. You're gonna have to break your other foot to create time to play that game.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think there's a PC version coming next year, right?
Ooh, nice.
So they're actually going to port it as well.
Well, with that said, I am Brian. Back to me, the host. I've been playing Gears of War with my buddy Gordon, who might be in chat today. Shout out to our 4 viewers currently watching. Anyone new, welcome to the Book Club with No Books Indie Game Social Club. Gears of War. What else have I been playing? We've been playing The Witness together. Me, Ilker, and Simon. Have you played it, Johan?
Yeah, I played it.
I mean, every time we play, like, we feel so smart, just like a bunch of monkeys shaking the computer screen, like, woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
It's not that bad. I think we're actually
we're making progress.
It's very satisfying. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, the worst part and the best part is that we have speedrunners watching us.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of but the good thing is like there's no pressure. Like they're amazing, they're super helpful, they're super nice, they're not stressing or doing any spoilers. It's terrific people. But it's also like
it's like almost like a speedrunner support circle. Like
it totally is.
Like they just sit in a group and watch you play it.
They seem to enjoy it. They seem to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, and also like I'm feeling kind of down in the dumps. Like I'm not like I don't have the best confidence. Let's see. Like I can compare myself to people that are worse than me. Let's do that.
It's like they're raising babies and we're the babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Super fun.
Let's. I think that's it for me. Witness, Gears of War. I played Ghosts of a Tale, which is on Xbox Game Pass. It's visually beautiful, from someone from DreamWorks Studio. But it kind of just fell flat for me. It's like a sneaking game that's not very good at sneaking. The graphics are amazing, but it just doesn't deliver anything else. But other than that, What the Golf is something I've been playing. So let's go ahead and transition to our monthly discussion. Ilker, why don't you tell us what this game is we're playing?
We've been playing a game called What the Golf. It is made by a studio called Triband. I think it's a Danish studio. And it was published in 2019. I'm not sure how many people worked at it at the time. On the website, it says that there were a few people working in a basement, but now there are 20 people working in an office. So,
upgrade.
That's not bad.
Pretty good success with that game, I guess. It was originally for iOS and Mac, I think. But yeah, it's later on it was published for Steam as well, and I want to say other consoles, but I'm not sure.
It's on Switch as well, right?
Right.
Another Swedish indie darling.
Yep.
What is this game?
Yeah, what is this game? What about you guys? Would you call this a puzzle game?
I would
Or a
call
golf game.
this a. I mean, it's definitely some kind of puzzle game. It's a golf game. Is it? It is.
But what is golf? Like, if you actually if you look at what you do with golf,
Yeah.
Moving.
I would actually say that there is like an anything but golf game. Like you have golf, and then it's like this game is all around it, but not golf.
I would say-
yeah.
I would say that golf is like it's
Close to golf.
It's
Close
a
to golf.
puzzle game. Same goes for putt-putt, and I would probably say this game is more like putt-putt than a golf game. But
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like I mean, spoiler alert. I really enjoyed it, but like the charm of this game is that the name "What the Golf" is perfectly describing this game, right? Like,
Yeah.
my description would be it's somewhere between like a digital toy and WarioWare wrapped with the golf wrapper. You know, like
Yeah.
because
I
you
would say-
dropped in on this level and you're trying to figure
Yeah.
out how this level wants to be played, right?
Right.
Mm.
I mean, it's sort of like to golf what Rocket League is for football.
Mm-hmm.
It's like taking like a completely different spin at it, and I have some. I actually have some notes that touches down on like what this game is
Sure.
and how it came to be. That I'll talk about later, but.
sure.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a puzzle game. It is a like comedy game. Can you even like?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the developers' webpage, they actually say that they do comedy games, and
Oh, okay.
that is like their inspiration for their work. So
Yeah, they
It is
definitely
definitely-
made me like legitimately LOL. Like it is a very funny
Yeah.
game.
same, yeah.
Yeah.
I was chuckling.
I mean, like it's especially like the first minutes of it when they sort of set the scene for what kind of game it is, because then it's just like it's just basically, I don't know, one of those like almost magic trick for children kind of things. Like as soon as you start expecting something, they pull something
Yeah.
away. You get an ice cream, and the ice cream disappears, and it's just like
But then the whole
But you
time
said
you're like,
something that you
oh
want-
yeah, this is great, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said something about like the introduction to the game, like the whole like
Yeah.
presentation that you do before the title screen is like it just sets up everything like that you should be expecting from this game within
Yeah,
what
That's true.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean that's brilliant, right? Because
yeah, it
like
is brilliant.
before you even get to change options for like graphics settings or even see what the name of the game is, like
Yeah.
you're playing this
Yeah.
ridiculous thing, and it's so awesome. Right?
Yeah.
I think they actually even have like a show it to a friend mode.
Do they
in the
really?
menu. So you can actually start it up, and they actually have this kind of demo mode that actually does it, that kind of just the introduction thing, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I
on
love
iPad.
that.
Okay.
That's very cool.
Which makes a lot of sense, because it's one of those games that's like once you get it, it's really simple, but trying to explain it,
yeah.
I mean, you sound like an insane person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, man, it's like a golf game, but sometimes I guess the person will go away, but it's not like you're not trying to put it in. It's more like hitting a cow, but maybe not cows. It could be cars, or like it
And you
explode.
put the ball in the hole, but sometimes you put the hole in the ball.
And then you're Spider-Man, and then you play Super Hot, and then
Or you put the hole in the one. I thought that was.
oh
brilliant.
man,
The
yeah,
hole
yeah.
in one.
God, there are so many puns that I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Very,
that
very
just
good,
gave me a
right?
good chuckle every time.
I mean, so basically, like, what? So, talking about the beginning and like learning what the game is, and I had like I've seen like short clips of it. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be like a fun game, but it kept surprising me, like every level, every move, like
Yeah.
every like. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if I remember this completely correctly, but I think like the first thing you do is like you hit a golf ball into the hole, and then the next time you throw away the club on the like into the hole, and then the third time like you think that it's gonna be like the club, no, then your character flies away.
Yeah.
So like there's always like something that happens that you like you think like you get it, but then it will like still fool you.
Yeah, you can't
Exactly.
let your
They-
guard
they-
down, right?
Yeah, and they do that in like the introduction to the game, which is like again what I think is brilliant, because they set the bar for what you should be expecting from this game, like within those 1 minute
Yeah.
that you're playing the game, which is I think it's a genius move.
It's
basically.
great. Gordio283 says, that's true how hard it is to explain. When I said this golf stage plays like Mario 64, I couldn't conceptualize what that even meant, which is so true, right? But also that's indie games, right? Like, like try to describe even, what was the last indie game that we played? Wander Song. Like it just sounds ridiculous and not fun. And or Later Alligator, it's a murder mystery, but also a birthday party, you know, like that kind of weird stuff.
But in a way, I think this game is like it's even harder because this one, I actually like the only thing it does basically is play with the genre, which means that there's like basically no way to nail it down. Like all those other games, at least you can find some kind of combination of things. Like it's this with a little bit of that and this. While this game is basically like the only thing it is that it's not just normal golf. It's just like tries to do absolutely everything else, which makes it absolutely impossible for me to try to explain often.
Did any of you guys beat it?
No,
I haven't.
How many hours would you guys say?
I think 2.5, maybe 3.
Yeah, I'm like 2 hours in, but I've actually focused on doing like both the par and the stars for every.
Those get pretty hard after a while, especially the super hot ones.
No,
yeah. I mean, with that said, go ahead.
Like, did you guys? Because I realized, like in the beginning, there's a lot about like introducing new gimmicks, and there's a lot of like surprise going on and so on. But is there like a point where it starts to gravitate more towards like actual more like puzzle work, where it's like okay, I know how the mechanics work, and now it's just about trying to master those mechanics. Because that's something I sort of like missed out a little bit on. Like it just felt that. Like you do one thing, and then once you get it, it's not really that complicated. So there's a lot more about just fun mechanics rather than actually mastering something.
Yeah.
When would you say the game starts getting more complicated, like actually becoming puzzles?
For me, it was actually like it was the turning point of the game where it went from like, oh, this is a really fun, cute game to this game is fucking amazing, which was the first Super Hot stage. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this looks just like Super Hot. And then when you finish the putt, it goes Super Pot. Like just like the Super Hot game. It's so good. Did you guys all get to that stage?
Yeah.
No,
it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, that is actually where I stopped. Like I didn't get further than that.
I don't want
to. Hilarious.
Amazing.
I don't want to spoil it too much, but like there's there's so many indie game references. Like Super Hot, is an entire. And if you know how to play Super Hot, the stage goes by a little easier, but it's still a challenging puzzle, just like Super Hot, right? Mm-hmm. And then the one after that, I just started before the stream was Portal, and there's a whole stage dedicated to Portal. And so, oh God, I'm gushing about this game. It's so ridiculous.
Oh wow!
And we're just getting started.
Now I realize that I haven't even started the game. Like it feels like I realize you sort of get this kind of like hints about those kinds of references, but in the beginning it feels like it's a bit more. It's a lot less like those kinds of like focused references, more about just subverting expectations of what you supposedly will happen.
Which is brilliant, right? Like there's a hidden brilliance to how this game is structured, right? And and what's great about how the first like maybe 30 minutes to an hour of the game is just its own rules, because then it shows you it's not relying on those references to be good, right?
Right.
Yeah, like it's good on its own.
But speaking of Super Hot, like and like developers and the whole like basically the like how the game's structured, I think it's so obvious that it's made out of game like by like nerdy gamers, because like there's so many references to old games, to new games, to like you have Super Mario, you have Super Hot, you have like pop culture references like Rick and Morty.
Right, there was the big face in the wall that I saw. Yeah,
right. You have
that
like
was Rick and Morty, right? In the galaxy.
Show me what you got. That face.
You have
I thought so. Okay, cool.
You have Katamari Damacy. You have.
Whoa! I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's the one where you, basically, I think when you like hit. When you're gonna putt, like you don't hit the ball with the golf club. The whole character just like flies away, and then everything sticks to you. And the more you roll, the more things that stick to you.
I don't know if I stumbled on that one. That's crazy.
I think it's like a crown.
Okay, I sped through the first half for sure.
and then you have like Flappy Birds, you have Angry Birds. Like
Yeah.
there's like
That's
so many,
right.
like there's such a wide variety of
Absolutely.
influences that if just like it has to be, I would say like it has to be like people our age maybe
Must be.
that
Yeah.
have played through all of those stages when they were relevant, and it's like a joy to see that it's a great game, and it's a great game because they have like used all of these references and like games in such a clever way to like to
And
like
it's-
both
and it-
make the stage and to make the small puzzle games.
Yeah, it's really cool for like it's easy for I think like for stuff like this to become kind of like when stuff focuses too much on references, it usually can be a bit like it gets a bit dull after a while. Like
Right.
they
Right.
dig into it too deep.
Sure.
But here, I think that I've just felt that they found this kind of balance of like I don't know, like when you pick up a new game, like the exciting thing in the beginning is just trying to understand the rules and trying to like get into it, and then comes the mastery stage.
Yes.
And usually most games focus on like as quickly as possible getting you to understand how the game works, and then everything else is about mastering it. Well, this game sort of just like it's only in the stage of like learning how it works. Like
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single thing
every
is just
stage.
basically giving you a little new game with new rules,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. So like the master of it is basically just trying to become better at figuring out what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
really-
Did you guys find
cool.
yourselves trying to anticipate how this stage is going to troll you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was starting to be like, okay, this one, I'm thinking the hole's going to move, and I'm like wrong, and then it does something else, and that's part of the fun too, right?
Yeah. Bad Flag, I think, was the first one, right?
Yeah.
It's the flag. I think it's
So good. Between that and like hole in one, or like right now on the screen, it's like you have to putt the goal into the other goal. It's like so good.
Yeah.
that was just so dumb, but
And it's
Goal
like,
in goal, right?
yeah, goal,
yeah,
yeah.
go, or go.
Yeah.
I think it
Go
was.
go.
There were small things like, and I'm sure it could benefit from another playthrough, but like when you get to the stage that's like Mario, and the music changes and they sing like a parody of Mario. So they go,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the golf? What the golf? What the golf? What the golf? You know, like kind of like the Mario theme, and it's so good.
Yeah.
You know, did you
Yeah,
get
the whole like
yeah, go ahead.
soundtrack is amazing. It's just
It is.
like it's just like the weird chorus thing.
Yeah. Well, what did you guys think
Yeah.
about the sound and music in general?
Great.
I
I
think
think-
it's just like it's supported, like the sound effects supports the ridiculousness of each
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you have like the little like cozy, like weird, like chorus, like like I don't know. It's just it's not in the way, and it's not like in focus. It's just like supporting that you're playing a weird ass game. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the music definitely adds to the silliness of the game.
Yeah.
Which I mean, that's the whole point. Point of having the music to add something to it.
Agreed.
So yeah, like the music definitely sets up what it does what it sets out to do for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me, it's like, like Simon, you said, it doesn't get in the way. Like it was perfectly tailored to the theme of the game, right? Like it's basically a play on what the fuck, WTF, right? And
Yeah.
the people that are singing the themes and stuff like that, they're not good singers. It's just a bunch of dudes, but it's well produced and it sounds
I
really
would say
good.
they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's just like
But that's
silly
like,
and
I guess that's also
irreverent.
like of the like it's really like pretty tight when it comes to how it's like the production both like the music and the graphics and everything. But it's also
Yeah.
like it's sort of sometimes, at least for me, like in the beginning, balances a bit on like becoming almost a bit dull, because there's like everything basically looks a little bit the same, even if the rules change a lot, but there's not really like. But I guess that's like almost the point. Like they try to keep like the focus on coming up with new concepts rather than trying to I don't
Yeah.
know, like create completely different worlds,
Yeah,
or
because
spending too much time.
Kept it super
Yeah,
simple.
definitely, because the music still changes between each level, I would say. So like
Yeah.
there's still something different happening with the music.
Yeah.
Each
mean-
part of the game.
In general, though, like the sound design, I thought was minimal but perfect, right? Like
Yeah.
even the sound that you make when you putt, like even when you're putting the human, it still makes that like golf club hitting a golf ball sound, which I think is hilarious. But it's a very satisfying like ping sound, you know. Yeah. Between that, like subtle, like electronic noises when you hit the computer and stuff like that, I thought it was great.
Because they also have like that like whole like golf ball in hole sound that almost feels like it's ripped from some early like almost like Super Nintendo or
Hot Shots or
PlayStation
something.
golf game. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, it's so good. It's satisfying. I love it. Very good. Do you think there was any type of like narrative or like story they were trying to convey in the progression?
I mean, I think there's a story, but I only got to like the second boss, if you would call it that.
Oh, the kind of like Game Boy looking computer.
I mean, it is trying to hide something from, like, it is trying to keep you away from something. But Simon, I think you played it the longest, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is just. I mean, I'm not sure this is like the developers' laboratory, but this is definitely a laboratory where they are making experiments on golf.
How to make it more fun.
Because all the like small terminals, you can find like the small, because the big computer is like the boss that keeps you from like getting to the next level, and that boss is in itself like a golf game or a puzzle game.
Yeah.
But then you have like the small terminals, and they are like always like, you know, like experiment like 24 failed, and then like notes like the 27th of March. Golf is still boring. Like they're like trying to make golf work, but they're not succeeding. So that's why you have like all these different like experiments.
Right.
So, but I haven't like got into like something that's deeper than that. But it's definitely like, and it looks like a laboratory. So it's definitely like them trying to figure out like what to do with golf.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It didn't need a story, but there's that little kind of connective thread that it's like, oh yeah, how do we make golf not boring? Let's make science experiments out of it, which is, I didn't actually pick up on that until you brought it up. I was just like, yeah, there's a world map, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of good.
There's a lot of, I think there's some like references almost to like, I don't know, like golf being the method to test things on people. Like you have this kind of, I think one of the rooms is like, you know, like they have this thing where it's like annoyance. It's just like the test, like test 224 annoyance, and then it's the one where like the flags keep moving around, and there's like all those like small frustration elements to it.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. That's awesome. That's a cool little touch. Like, yeah, they're all themed around certain bits, right? Like testing your patience or frustration and stuff like that. That's really neat.
So are you, as the player, the experiment or like the lab rat?
Oh, that's an interesting thought too, right? Yeah, maybe you're the lab rat bringing this ball through the maze, right? If you will, for these experiments.
It's test person.
All totally unnecessary, but welcome because of how quirky and fun it is, right?
Yeah.
Graphics. What'd you guys think? Or visual style, whatever.
When I read it was originally developed for Mac and iPhone, I was like, it looks like a Mac-ass game. Really. It looks like a game that would be on Mac.
Yeah.
I get it being developed for like an iPhone because the controls
feel flicky.
I had a hard time and not doing like full power in my the hits.
Did you use controller or keyboard and mouse?
Keyboard mouse.
Okay.
Or just mouse, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I found that a little bit hard. So I feel like that would be easier with a touch. But then I think it's like, I think the graphic is great. It does what it's supposed to do. It keeps the focus on the like gimmick or the like gameplay, and it's like, and also I think like too much detail or like better textures or whatever would have made it more confusing, like more cluttered, basically.
Yeah. I think Gordio pointed out the other day that it's kind of reminiscent of Untitled Goose Game. Right. It's kind of like minimal vector graphics. But it that kind of graphical style just really fits perfectly with like a quirky gameplay, you know? Like keep it simple. Like you can show that it shows that they're not trying to blow you away with graphics.
I mean,
you know?
I guess like it serves like two purposes basically. Like, one being that you reduce like effort to actually create something new, so you can just like toss things around and do like a completely different concept because you don't have to spend too much time creating assets for it. But I think like almost the most important thing about like a minimalist presentation like that is that you get this like a much better legibility of like what you're looking at. Like if objects are there, they stick out in a way that makes it fairly easy to sort of parse that. Okay, so this is separate from the ground and everything. And the more complicated, I guess, like stuff becomes, then it becomes harder to sort of orient yourself in like, is this something I should be doing something with?
Right.
Yeah.
So they get this kind of like really easy, like especially when you have like I don't know, like a storm of cars just falling over you, or you toss 100 different clubs or something, then
that's so true, because also what that does is it makes it really easy to adapt to other games, right? Like it was really easy to slot it into Super Hot. It's really easy to slot it into Portal, and it all feels good, right? I thought that was really neat. Really good.
And if you actually want to, in some specific instance, to do like this kind of visual thing to really nail down like a reference, then it becomes much more obvious because it's so plain in general. So you can do this kind of weird, like you can just switch to black and white, and it's going to be really black and white because you're so used to like this whole cartoony presentation, for example.
Yeah, not to hamper on it too much, but it goes back to that Super Hot level. Like I was just so delightfully surprised. Super.
So that was. So like speaking about like expectations and what you think the game is about, like that was. So first of all, I think the first level made me so happy because I saw it and I was like, okay, I know exactly what this is. This is Super Hot, and it played like Super Hot, and it did that in a great way, and that made me super excited. But then there's one level. Is it okay if I spoil one level of Super Hot?
For sure.
Sure.
Where there's like a bridge, and there's like so many like people with guns on that bridge that like it's impossible to get to the flag that's behind all the people. So what you do is you take like another way to the back.
The pacifist way, right? Or is it?
No,
there's another way. There's got to be an easy way is the name of the level.
So and on that like balcony there's a sniper. So you just like stand in the distance and you just like snipe everybody, and then you go back and you go to the flag.
Yeah.
Which is like it's still Super Hot themed, but they like made it like a completely different game.
Well, that's the brilliant thing. It still felt like a Super Hot game, and if they made a whole game based on that, like golf with Super Hot, I'd like totally play it. It was like really, really fun.
But it's also like this kind of I really like those kind of things as well, because they also almost like playing around with like the premise of the games that they're sort of referencing. Like this kind of thing with like in Super Hot, where it's like, why am I throwing like pans and pots at enemies? It's got to be like, well, I'm just going to leave this house and go out and grab a sniper rifle and shoot them, and then I can go back in and just do this. Why am I even...
It's great. It makes you like, it just, surprises you at every turn. And if you have an affinity for those particular games, they handle the references so respectfully. It's like the person clearly loves Super Hot the way they did it,
Right.
So do you guys plan on finishing the game after this discussion?
I think this is a game that I will play. I'm not going to finish it in 1 or 2 goes, but I will come back to this game like when I like de-stress or something like that. So this is going to be like a game that will sit there and like I'll say hello to, kind of like a Valheim. Like I go in like once in a while and just like play a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. That is the way I'm going to slice this game up as well. I think I'm going to replace this as my lunch game.
Nice.
Previously, it's been Hyrule Warriors, which you can also play in like short bursts. I think this game is also perfect for that. So great lunch game. But then again, like if you had this on the phone, and if I was working at the office, this is the perfect game. I would just sit in the lounge at the office and just play this for a while before going back to my desk.
I mean, it sounded like you knocked it for being like an Apple game, but like that's kind of the beauty about like iOS games is that you can play for 30 seconds or you can play for 30 minutes, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's got that going for it, for sure. For me, I think there's that addictive like one more nature to it, right? And so
Yeah.
I want to keep playing it just to see all the Easter eggs and references. And I'm sure there are references that I missed too. And it's just that charming. And I can't wait to dive back in.
Right.
Can you guys name all the references that you guys think you've seen so far?
Oh wow!
Early on,
No,
okay.
I should have taken notes.
Okay, so I'll point some out that I saw that were
anything.
obvious.
I know there were moments where it's like, right, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mario
I didn't
was
get that far in.
pretty
Oh, yeah,
obvious.
Mario was one for me as well, and
Yeah,
then Rick and
obviously.
Morty
Rick and Morty,
and
Spider-Man with the spider ball, like you can shoot webbing from the
Yeah.
ball. Super hot
The-
portal. That's later though.
that's Flubber also.
Flubber,
Flubber
that's
one,
right.
Yeah.
Flappy Bird,
Flappy Birds, Angry
Flappy
Birds.
Bird
Angry Birds,
and Angry Birds.
Oh, yeah, Angry Bird. That one was great. That was almost where I was sitting, like, is this even legal? Because it was so extreme, like it was so well done.
It was exactly Angry
It felt
Birds.
a little bit like ooh, this is.
This is illegal. That's great.
They had Trackmania in there.
No shit. Is that after the portal stuff or before?
No, that's before.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
like way before. And then I forget where this was, but they had like a Kofefe in there.
Yes, as the goal word. Kafif.
Yeah, exactly.
Donkey
great.
Kong was in the Mario levels.
right.
Yeah, that was a great one. And then that's kind of all I have so far. I'm sure I missed some though, but yeah.
But did you guys have any like highlights, like the best levels or best references or like fun things?
Super hot, 100%. I'm sure there'll be more.
I
but
mean,
not super
I
hot.
really liked the first, like the first minutes. I mean, I know that was without a reference, but I think it was just so brilliantly done with just like presenting like the idea of what you're supposed to do. Like
Yes.
first it's like really standard thing, and then just everything just becomes weirder and weirder really, really quickly.
Yeah.
I thought that was like
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
gonna-
amazingly done. It's such a perfect way to introduce someone else to it as well. Like you can't really explain it, but just playing those
Absolutely.
2 minutes basically explains the game to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Like I'm just gonna echo that. I think the first minute of the game, the presentation is my high point of this game. I think it's just so brilliantly done.
Yes, I think that's the thing with the first bit of the game. You'll immediately go, I fucking love this, or I don't get it. You know, but it's so economical with those the gameplay. It's just a tight package, like you said. It's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of levels that have like RC cars or cars
Mm-hmm.
where like you have to like either hit them, and like, when you hit them like they drive away and you can like make them hit each other, or you just have to like dodge them. And so one of my highlights, I think it's like the one that I laughed out the most, is you play like a bunch of those games, and then like I think the like crown game, like the hardest difficulty game, is like instead of like having RC cars against you, you see like the golf ball and like being like beside like an RC controller.
Uh-huh.
So you're the golf ball controlling a car. So that's what you're playing as.
Oh, nice.
Which is, so you're not just like shooting a car. You are actually the golf ball using a controller, which I
great.
thought was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that, and there was also the rocket barrel levels were really neat.
Yeah.
That was cool.
that
The
was cool.
bowling. God, there's just so many. Like it's so inventive, and they never
It
got
is.
really truly repetitive for me. You know, like it just.
But if
always-
we switch it around, then like, what was the low point of the game for you guys? What was like the
good point.
what was
The last football level, I hated it because I repeated that so many times.
Which
When
one?
We have to like the last one of them, and we have to like dribble the ball between a lot of like players, and you have a small platform that you have to.
Oh, I love that! I love that so much.
yeah.
Because
Football game?
the football game, yeah, like because you can
Yeah.
keep you can freeze time anytime you stretch the arrows. So like I just kind of slowed
Yeah.
down and did that. But I thought that was so clever.
Yeah,
It was really cool.
I think
But,
that maybe like for me it could be like that because they're doing so many different games. Like the mechanics tended to be like a little bit wonky in some places. Like you have to have
True.
a bit of like you can't accept like expect every single game mode or whatever it's supposed to be called, like to be that polished. Like for example,
Right.
like the football level, you fairly quickly discover these kind of like weird exploits and glitches, like you said, like it slows down when you're the arrow. So on like an iPad, which I played on, you can basically, if you just keep swiping, then it's basically in slow motion while always
Oh,
slowly
interesting.
moving.
Wait, so you
Just
played
keep-
iPad?
Yeah, iPad Pro.
Wow, cool. I'm sure that's like such a great experience because
Yeah, it works pretty good actually.
yeah, that goes into my low point, which is like the controls. Like Simon said, like
Yeah.
between the mouse, when you use the mouse, it's so sensitive that you move it just like a centimeter, and it's like full power.
Yeah.
And then I also use controller, and that was like you had to time it, and then so like even like a quick press will give you full power. So
Oh wow.
some levels work better with mouse, and other levels work better with controller, which is dumb because like
Yeah.
it should just work clean either way, you know?
Well, it kind of like makes sense that it's made for like a touch device then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so. Like what you said, the controls, but also for me, it's the actual like map or like the where when you're like navigating through the like the laboratory or like when you're going between levels. Basically, the like it's equivalent to Super Mario like world map.
Yeah.
And there's like so many things that feels like they're part of like the basically like the floor texture, but like that are obstacles. So like sometimes I
Yeah.
just felt it like super hard to like just like get to somewhere because there's like
Like a
desk,
chair,
there's like
yeah.
a tube, there's like a chair,
Yeah.
there's a plant. And that was frustrating for like just wanting to get to the next level. It feels like it should have been not as much hassle.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there are sometimes, you know, like when you're trying to flick just to the next level and you accidentally bounce and hit the previous level. I'm like, God damn it. That was kind of a pain point. But they made it pretty easy. Like you can just do a single click and then get out of that
Yeah.
screen. But it's still
It
was a
almost
little,
feels like it's part of the
or
game a
press
little
escape.
bit. Like they want it to be frustrating.
That's
in
true.
way as
That's
well.
very
Like,
true.
it's just-
but yeah, but not that frustrating. Not too frustrating. It's nice. I'm trying to think any other pain points or frustrations. I mean, there were some levels where I spent 10 minutes on, which is long for this game. Usually
Yeah.
games last seconds, you know, and they're pretty hard. But again, it's like going back to Ilker's first point, which is it's a puzzle game, right? Like if it's not working, try it a different way. And like it's way easier sometimes looking at it from a different direction.
Right. Something I like about the game is that this is not a pain point, but something I just like thought about is they work with so many different perspectives or so many like different kind of like game modes. Like if you play a golf game, it's gonna be in 2D or in 3D or in like, but they could like use the platformer perspective. They could use like the 3D perspective. They could use the like kind of like the ping pong perspective when you play
That's
against
right.
the computer.
Yeah.
Like there's like they really used like all of the like basically like every tool of it like that exists they used. It feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. There
And
were.
they were like, oh, like remember Mario Galaxy when they had gravity? They're like, oh, cool, let's do that. And you had like
Yeah.
the levels where you could like curve balls around planets.
That was
And
cool.
then you had like Super Mario. They're like, oh, cool, let's do 2D. And I remember thinking to myself that they must have programmed it so well to be able to like have such an open mind about what ideas they want to implement.
Very true. Yeah. The fact that they could do so many different game engines, right, in one game,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, right? Like they did that.
I don't know
pretty
how it works,
flawlessly.
but yeah.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
remember now when you just said it, like the whole thing about the thing when the first levels when you just play, there's just this cloud of balls, and the winning phrase is just balls.
yeah, that's great.
Something simple about
Yeah.
them is it being like it's just
Yeah, that was part of the fun too. The winning phrases, right, between like
Yeah,
literal like
There's-
hole in one, you know, was great. And the balls.
There's a cow in the overworld where if you hit the cow, he will flip over and it will say "Cowabunga."
Yeah, stuff like that is great.
And if you hit him again, he will flip over back to like on his feet and it will say "Thanks for the tip."
Nice. That's really
when
good.
I think when you're hitting like all the hot dog stands, then the winning phrase is like worst party ever, right?
Oh, that's great. I love
It's
that.
just, it's just,
Yeah, that's a
it's,
lot
it's,
of good
just,
puns.
it's just like the pendulum between like absolute brilliance and just stupid in
Yeah,
the best way
dad
possible.
jokes.
Really,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
goal.
Definitely bad jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go goal.
Yeah. Who would you say this game is for?
I mean, let's talk about the controls a little bit more. Like
Sure,
we
sure.
all played it. Like we all played it on different controls because I played it on mouse.
Yeah.
I think you did that as well, Simon.
Yeah.
How was? I can kind of expect how it is on a touch screen, but
Yeah.
like how is it on a controller, Brian? Like how do you actually play that?
Not great. It is like so. Wherever you point the stick is where you point the thing, and you would think that the other analog stick would be able to pull the power back, but it's not. It's you press and hold A, but the time window between you pressing and holding A and it going max is like half a second. It's
okay.
really
Wow.
short. And I didn't take the time to see if you can customize that in the options, but after that, I was just like, I'm going to mouse. And then every odd level here and there, I would have to go back to the controller because I'm like, yeah, this will work way better with a controller, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the touch interface is actually kind of weird as well. Like they have this, but I can actually imagine why they didn't done it. But it's like, so you actually you take the ball and you pull the other way basically to charge it
Yeah.
up. So you're actually aiming like the other way from your finger, which
like
becomes like
slingshot.
kind of like backwards.
It's just like
Yeah, but it's
the,
sort of like
the arm of the.
yeah, exactly. And I guess that it also helps a little bit because otherwise it might be maybe a bit almost too simple to aim because you could just like, pull your finger from the ball and just to the place where you want to go and it would be like the
Right.
correct direction. This actually
I would
adds
think
like
the
an
other way
element
around
of,
because
like
then your
randomness.
finger would be obscuring the interface or the
Maybe.
arrow.
It just felt a bit backwards to me sometimes, like especially in like stress situations where you have to do like multiple hits on something to
Yeah.
avoid a rampaging cow or
Yeah.
exploding car.
Oh,
or
I can
something.
see how. Did it add complications by you having to kind of chase the ball with your fingers? Because we didn't have to do that
No,
necessarily.
you can actually pull anywhere on the screen. So it's
I
actually kind
see.
of nifty like
Okay.
that.
Well, that's cool.
I think I'm pretty sure it's probably the best way to like the best control scheme. They
I
have.
guess so, yeah, because mouse for me was a bit painful. Like at some points when you actually have to drag a lot, like you're just sitting with your mouse and squat,
Yeah.
like swiping your mouse pad.
Definitely.
Not the most intuitive controls, I would say, but I mean it does the job for sure. But
Yeah, and I mean, for the most part, they kept it really simple, right? It's like a flick for the most part.
Definitely.
Yeah. I can't think of any other time they switched it up when it was a rocket. That was the only time the controls behaved slightly different. But even then, it's so simple that you can pick it up.
right, because you have to just pull it back and have it pressed all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That was nice. And then they added let's talk about like the physics in the game. There was the galaxy levels, which gravity played a part in. There was the rocket.
Yeah.
The bowling was cool. They even switched up the bowling because it's like bowling with the ball, and you had to time it for the guy like rolling his thing, and that took me a long time too to figure it out, which is really funny. But it's just like it's so stupid in such a fun way.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
great.
And I think that's like sorry.
It's just like the shape of whatever you're trying to hit, like the oil barrels, like just like go straight forward almost.
Yeah.
And then the ways with the vase
Oh,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to hit, like it has that. You kept going like sort of like in a circle.
And you can't hit anything or else you lose because it breaks and stuff like that.
Right,
that was
right.
nice.
Yeah.
That was a frustrating
But
level,
it's-
but it was fun.
Yeah, it feels in a way like it's a brilliant angle for them because like they can actually work with like slightly wonky controls as like part of the game.
Yeah.
Like it actually like the fact that it's kind of difficult and you never end up where you want to is actually sort of part of the charm. Because then you can do like all kinds of weird physics stuff, like I don't know, like a ball ends up falling down a cliff, and you actually realize that you can actually catch it and just keep swiping and climb back up over the edge, and it's just so stupid. But
It rewards you for playing, right? Like
Yeah,
just having
exactly.
fun with the game. There's a world where it's all Olympic games, so like archery and track and field and hurdles. And I was like, this level is impossible. How do you beat this level in 7 seconds? And the way you figured out was when I got frustrated, I was just like, right? And you just rocket yourself if you just spam the button. It just goes, and you like finish the level instantly. It's pretty hilarious. Like stuff like that, I was just like, oh God, so good.
Yeah.
So good. You know? Yeah, I mean, let's go back to like, so we played it. We all have like slightly different tastes. I think it sounds like we all had fun with it. Who'd you recommend this game to?
I think this is a good game to trick somebody into playing a more complicated game than what they're used to. I think, because immediately it takes you into something else. Because it looks easy enough. It's available for a phone.
Yeah.
And then you escalate, like you said, Johan. Like you escalate so quickly. And if you buy it, then you buy the whole thing. Then you're probably gonna play the whole game, because you get into like the whole like surprise being fun thing. And also like since you can get by only playing the first level of each hole, which is kind of easy, and it's like only the fun thing. And then if you're like more of a gamer, maybe like us, then you can actually like play all the difficulties, which means that my mom could probably pick this up and finish the game.
That's true.
Which is Absolutely. Like I like that it's both accessible and it has like a more of a small amount of depth to it. And also
I mean, especially when it comes to the references and stuff like that as well.
Oh yeah,
like it's almost this kind of like we talk about like like Disney and Pixar movies where you have this kind of like the funny slapstick layer that works for kids of all ages, and then there's always like this kind of like
the
more
parental
mature depth
jokes,
to it, like, references and stuff like that. It makes it like fun for them to enjoy, and I guess it goes for like from sort of like a gaming perspective. Like you can actually, I bet you could play like if you really love video games, like you're gonna find a ton of fun references. It's just sit and go like all right. While I think it's perfectly enjoyable, even if you don't recognize any of the references.
100%.
I think that's a very very good point, because the game is very accessible. I would say it is. Like, and also if you have like the slightest bit of humor, I would say the game is also for you, just because of all the puns and like dad jokes. But
do you think people that like golf will like this game?
Probably not. If you're playing this for a golf game, no. If you like putt, maybe. Like if you want a pure golf game, there's probably something else you can be playing.
It's like the least accurate golf simulating game ever.
But I think it's a good way to trick people into playing puzzle games. Definitely.
But maybe they can actually like almost enjoy like the subversion of that kind of game as well. Like I know that there's this there's this really stupid game that's actually kind of brilliant in a way. Well, by one of my favorite game designers, like mobile game designers, who's called Zach Gage, and he made a game that's called Really Bad Chess.
Really
and
bad
the game
chess.
is basically the game basically gives you random pieces. So so it's completely asymmetrical. Both players just get a random assortment of pieces with no balancing whatsoever. So you could basically end up with just like, and it's actually, as far as I know, that there's been like some like people who enjoy chess tend to enjoy it as well, because they're forced to think like in a different way than what they usually do. You tend to like, you have to be improvised with what you have, basically.
I love that.
Skips like the fairness of it completely. But then again, just focuses on.
But then again, like this game doesn't really have any of the like.
No, it does not really have that much to do with golf, though.
Because you're not like trying to like sense the wind or whatever you do.
But it takes the bare minimum. Like so, like the base game is just have fun with just putting this thing to the goal. But like the more you have one level up, which is you have to meet the bare minimum of golf requirement, which is par. Right, you got to meet par, and then after that, it's like then there's the crown mode. And what I loved about that actually is the crown mode is not just a rehash of the regular stage; it's a completely different stage, which I thought was cool and surprising. Right?
Okay.
So it's more different stuff, which I really liked.
What I like about this game also is that its definition of golf is like very loose. It's like so wait. I have a quote here. I have a quote from one of the computers, where like one of the like diary notes says like the scientist has written down like, obviously I'm not a golfer, which is like
That's
which
amazing.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like everything, like the only thing that all of the games have in common is for you to like hit the like golf flag with something.
Yeah.
And I can like imagine like that's what like a non-golfer think golf is.
Yeah.
Like what do you just hit something like the flag with something.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be like be a ball or be on a green or be like anything, which is
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
it's fun. Like it's because
Yeah.
it's not like it's saying like the whole sport is not golf. Golf is just like this like super simple mechanic.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it also it goes to explain how their golf and what the golf are explained in similar ways. In that, like, when you try to tell someone about it, it does it no justice. Right.
Right.
So if you try to explain golf to someone, it's like, all right, what's fun about that? The same with like what the golf. It's like, I don't get it. What's so fun about that? Right. But
Yeah.
they both suffer from the same kind of like. You just got to look at it. You just got to play it. Right.
Right.
Super fun. Let's see. Anything else we want to cover? We talked about music and sound. We talked about the kind of hidden story there was, graphics and visuals, completion. Overall, what'd you guys think?
It's
Personal
a good,
opinions.
fun game. I really enjoy when like low budget, like small team games are just good. Like honestly, like good and easy and fun to play.
Yeah.
And it like I used to thought about this like when Valheim, 5-person team. Like probably making more money than I don't know about Cyberpunk, but like big games that have taken like hundreds of people like billions of hours to make, and it's just like fun that it's a possibility, right? Like it works, and like all these like weird ideas can come out, and what the golf is both a weird ass game. And I think and it wouldn't be possible if the culture wasn't there. So I used to, it's one of like many examples that like indie game culture is amazing.
Agreed.
And also I think like a lot of games can learn from it. Like just like the fact that it doesn't get boring. It's because it's always fresh. And I think that is because like a lot of games tend to stagnate.
Yeah.
And then also like what Joan pointed out is like the whole intro thing, like the sell the game to your friend mode.
Yeah.
Like I would love that in like every game.
Right. Right.
Because like always when you're trying to like show somebody like, oh, like, well, this is funny. I mean, maybe you don't get it now, but if you play it like for 50 hours, you'll get it, and it will be super fun.
That's a tough sell for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, no, it's the perfect casual game for me.
I actually think that maybe like I can actually see myself almost getting bored with this game. Like I think it's a great, like a fantastic. It feels like a fantastic break for me. Like it's hilarious. There's a lot of like fun stuff with it. But is it like a really good game for me? Probably not. Like I tend to enjoy more like almost like more challenge based, mastery based games, like something that you can sink your time into and learn about. And this feels like it's shifting too rapidly. That for me, it's after a while. Like I only play it in short bursts, but because after a while, it's just I don't know. There's just nothing for me to sort of hang on to. Like it's fun, but it's like a once. Like you probably for me, like a one. I'm gonna play through it once in small bites, and then I'm done with it. Like there's basically
that's fair. Yeah. Oh, I mean, but with that said, get to the super hot first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's an amazing experience. It's just this kind of, which I tend to end up in this territory, I think, when we talk about some of these games, where it's like I have a hard time sometimes, even in my own head, to try to distinguish with what I think is like, a great experience and a great game.
I see.
Like there are so many different kinds of like game experiences that it becomes difficult to like, is this, I don't know, like a walking simulator versus like a roguelike, for example. Like there's two, like the setups are just so completely different that it's hard for me to compare. Like one is about core mechanics, one is about narrative, and this is about some almost like meta level of games in general. Just,
yeah, absolutely.
tossing things around and keeping you confused, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ilker.
No, I'm just gonna echo the same thing that the guy's been saying. Like, I think it is a casual game, and just as Yuan just said, I don't see. I might see myself get bored with this game as well. Like, once you played it for an hour or two, you know what this game has to offer, and like, I think the game is probably best played in short bursts.
Yeah, I would agree.
As long as it lasts for you, basically. But yeah, you guys did a good job summarizing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't glow about this game enough. Just because, like, there is a little bit of a hump. Like, I would say, again, the super hot part, man. Like, I love that so much. But like, it was getting a little bit like samey. It
You
was
would
a little
really
samey
like
up until
this
that
game
point.
I know called Super Hot, Brian.
Yeah, I've never played Super Hot before. No, I'm kidding. I love Super Hot.
We're gonna make an overlay for the stream next time, so we can just get like a super hot every time you say it.
Exactly. Love it so much. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this game. I'm fairly certain I'm going to finish it because it doesn't demand too much of your time. Like, again, you could play it in short bursts. I think I might even buy it for my phone too, which is like you play it while you're waiting for someone or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's over in like 3 hours, 4 if you're a completionist. But yeah, we all played about 90 minutes worth. That's about halfway through the game. So I think I'm going to play a little bit more and see where it goes and see where the references
Absolutely,
are.
same here.
Yeah.
Feels like and it really feels like a piece of sort of like it's unique enough to warrant like attention. Like I think it's. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How much
especially
does
if you
it
like
cost?
video games in
It's
general.
it's not a big.
It was, I think, in the States, it was like $20. It was like a full price indie game. I want to say 20.
It's
Okay,
on the iPhone. It's actually part of Apple Arcade, so you actually get it for free if you do like
Oh, nice.
or not for free, but with the subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
haven't found anything that stood out to me in Apple Arcade, so I never went like all in.
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah.
not that many great things. Actually.
Yeah, they had like their own exclusives, but even though the exclusives were timed, I'm like, I'll just wait for it to come out on PC or whatever. I'm like, meh, it's all right.
Right.
But as we know, we don't necessarily like to go through a 1 to 10 scale because we can't compare this game to Edith Finch or Hades or anything like that. We like to rate it based on its own merits and what it's trying to accomplish. So let's come up with a custom rating system: 1 to 5, 1 to 52, whatever we want.
Let's just use the golf terms.
Right.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Sure. So hole in one is it set out to achieve a certain goal and it achieved it perfectly. I don't know. I don't play golf that much. What's worse than a hole in one?
So you have hole in one, you have par is bogey,
Birdie?
then par, and birdie, and then eagle.
Is
Eagle?
eagle
Really?
a better? Eagle's the hole in one is the best. Eagle is
Eagle
second
is
best?
2 under par.
Oh, really?
Okay, so we got it is 4 points. So I don't play golf either. I'm just looking
You
at
got
Wikipedia here with,
Tomahawk. You got F12 Eagle,
What's
Thunderbird.
what's
Simon,
what's at the
you feel
top?
like a person that would be playing golf, actually.
Wii
Really?
golf, a lot of golf, a lot of Wii golf. That's what I played.
I've never
Okay,
I've played golf
so
once.
you rate golf games based on birds?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Eagle, birdie.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I know. Okay,
I'm
so we go hole in one.
I'm gonna give this game an ostrich straight up. I would say.
Totally in for it.
I would definitely give this this bird, I would say, this game par. It's a great game. It does what it sets out to do. If the controls were good, I wouldn't probably given it like a hole in one for like being what it is, like to achieving what it wants to achieve. Like they did it, like I think they almost did exactly what they wanted to do with this game,
Yes.
which is good.
I actually think it's a hole in one for me when it comes to like the concept of what it does. Like it executes perfectly on what it sets out to do. Like I actually think like even the wonky controls feels almost more like a feature than a bug, in a way.
That's so
like
true.
it's just part of the whole experience of just what the fuck is even happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm gonna say as well. For me, like the whole presentation, the package of the game is definitely a hole in one. But well, if you look at separate parts and like the controls, then like how long will the game last for me? Then maybe we'll stop dropping some points. But yeah, like as a whole, I think it's a full point. Like they do exactly what they set out to do for.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. Hole in one for me for sure. Hole in two, if that's a thing for that super hot reference. But I mean, at the same time, the game is called What the Golf. It tells you what to expect from the title. From the first 30 seconds, it reinforces that. And now that you bring it up, Johan, like the shitty controls are a feature, not a bug, right? Like it makes you feel clunky, and like the music is just kind of like clunky on purpose but polished at the the same time. It's just they succeeded in my book. They succeeded in their vision.
Definitely.
So I guess that's it for me. Any other final thoughts, closing thoughts on this game?
I have if you talked about the soccer part, I I really enjoy that part because it's like it really captured a grown ass person like dribbling a bunch of kids. It just felt like super degrading, and I thought that was hilarious. I think that I don't know, like that was more about like being like a dick to kids than like playing.
That was exactly what I was going through my mind when playing those levels. I'm like, fuck these kids.
Gordio says the golf score is a clever way to rate a golf game. The fact that no one knows how golf scoring works now shows how What the Golf has little to do with golf. Which is wonderful. Great.
That's perfect.
The question is like after playing this game, do we know more or less about golf? I feel I actually probably know less about golf now than I did before.
I would have to agree with you.
I would say that I know that there are ways to make golf more fun to watch and maybe play.
Yeah, which is a great thought experiment, right?
Yeah. No, I would say I know more of what golf is not. I think.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, right now on stream, we're looking at someone on a high dive board. And that is this is part of a golf game. Again, this is the beauty of indie games. That's why this is the spirit of Indie Game Social Club, right? It's kind of ridiculous. It's super fun.
Oh, that's an amazing level.
Yeah. Have you guys reached that one yet? The Olympics?
No, I don't think I played it.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's wonderful. But that does it for What the Golf monthly discussion. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and we can say goodbye on Discord. But until next time, thanks for watching, all viewers out there, and everyone else say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.
Bye.